American carmakers are among the most popular brands worldwide. However, they've also released some truly atrocious vehicles over the years. Domestic carmakers have done whatever possible to release sedans that would satisfy customer needs. From the outstanding Dodge Charger Hellcat to the luxurious Cadillac CTS V, American carmakers have released some of the most astonishing sedans out there. So today in this video I'm gonna showing you this vehicles, but first of all don't forget to like the video and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and let's do it. 2004 Ford Crown Victoria. Ford revolutionized the automotive industry, so much so that it created an economic model called Fordism. Following multiple successes, Ford was able to secure several state and federal contracts, thus making sure that the company's income would not rely solely on private customers. The Ford Crown Victoria is the police and fire department's favorite. The Crown Vic is one of those cheap American cars people love transforming into sleepers. Despite its huge potential to be a Shelby killer, the Crown simply is ugly. Its design is quite bland, and its engine is widely underutilized. Moreover, who wants to drive around in an undercover cop car? 2006 Cadillac CTS. American cars are not known for being luxurious. In fact, people looking for luxurious touches in a car are more likely to go for German cars. For hardcore patriotic motorists, Cadillac is the only domestic carmaker that offers somewhat luxurious vehicles. In the most recent years, Cadillac released some truly foul cars. The Cadillac CTS is far from one of those American sedans that are crazy fast. Its 2.8 liters V6 only produces 210 horsepower, which is sort of sluggish for a car this heavy. The car is not entirely bad per se, but given what comes with this CTS, a 2006 Toyota Camry V6 will do just fine. 2008 Ford Taurus. Ford has been very successful domestically with its pony cars and large-sized trucks. The Mustang and F-Series have conquered the heart of motorists worldwide. However, when it comes to its sedans, Ford seems to have issues coming up with a respectable car. The Ford Taurus received several facelifts, yet they all seem to fail to satisfy customers' needs. Though the 2003 Ford Taurus seems to be by far one of the worst Taurus ever made, the 2008 edition is not any better. Also available is the Mercury Milan. The Taurus is far from being a memorable car. It lacks power and really is not appealing. The latest version may have slightly more popular, but nothing compared to Japanese and European cars of the same caliber. 2009 Pontiac G6. Since the late 1970s, Pontiac had issues manufacturing decent cars. Some of its transims were somewhat decent, but cars such as the Aztek and the Montana were the sort of cars that failed to attract potential buyers. On the contrary, some of Pontiac cars are considered to be some of the worst cars ever made by a domestic automaker. The G6 is another Pontiac car that completely failed. Its sales were extremely low. In the US, only 87,171 G6s were sold in 2011. That is one pathetic number given the notoriety of the brand. Moreover, the Pontiac G6 is known for having serious issues that trigger a huge drop in gas mileage. 2010 Mercury Milan. Mercury was originally created to be the missing link between Ford and more luxurious Lincoln cars. Though the Ford subsidiary fulfilled its role throughout most of its tenure, the company completely lost the plot during its last 2 decades. The Mercury Milan is the prime example. For a car that was supposed to be more luxurious than commonly found Ford sedans, the Mercury Milan is far from being a car that maintained its value. The 2010 Mercury Milan V6 with 30,000 miles on the odometer has a resale value of less than $8,000. It's quite understandable why Mercury went belly up when looking at the Milan. 2011 Chrysler 200. Chrysler has created some of the best cars and engines. During the 1970s, some muscle cars were equipped with the legendary Chrysler Hemi 426 big block V8. In the most recent years, the Chrysler Hemi engine found on the SRT series has proven to be some of the best American-made engines. The Chrysler 200 does come with one interesting engine. The 3.6 liters Pentastar V6 does develop a respectable 284 horsepower. However, several cars equipped with much smaller engines produce a similar amount of power or more. The 4-cylinder version is absolutely horrendous, with a maximum output of 173 horsepower. The 200 is a far cry from the outstanding 300C. 2013 Dodge Avenger. Dodge completely lost the plot during the 1980s. The once iconic Challenger was now a badged Mitsubishi. The Charger was a boring elongated coupe that packed as much power as a Chinese blender. Fortunately, Dodge shook things in the mid-2000s and released some respectable vehicles. Back in 2013, the Dodge Charger had already conquered the muscle sedan market. The Challenger gave people looking for an alternative to Mustangs and Camaros something to work with. All in all, Dodge was shaking up the domestic market. The Avenger was, however, an abject failure. Even with its R/T trim that packed a bit more power, the car failed to live up to Dodge's reputation. 2015 Buick Lacrosse. It is fair to say that the golden age of American automakers started at the end of the 1960s and ended at some point in the mid-1970s. During that era, Buick released some very good vehicles such as the GS Stage 2 and the Skylark. While most carmakers were struggling in the 1980s, Buick came out with the Grand National and the flabbergasting GNX. The Lacrosse is not the worst American sedan ever made. However, it is nothing like any of the Buick cars made throughout the car manufacturer's tenure. It is at best the type of cars a boring family would purchase. The Lacrosse seems to be the replacement of the Mercury Grand Marquis as the official car of Sunset Lily's retirement community. 2019 Chevrolet Volt. Chevrolet is one domestic carmaker that is known for releasing some of the most outstanding cars. Mostly known for its Corvette, Camaro, and Silverado, Chevy has also released plenty of highly underrated vehicles such as the Nova and the Colorado. However, not all of Chevy's underrated cars are mind-blowing. The Chevy Volt sure is not one of the most expensive American cars ever made. In fact, it is among the cheapest hybrid vehicles domestically produced. Given the fact that the Volt failed to trump the Prius, the car was discontinued in 2019. While Toyota introduced its Prius at the right time, Chevy poorly positioned itself with the Volt. 2005 Dodge Plymouth Neon. Dodge is known for its iconic Chargers and Challengers released in the early 1970s. They were some of the greatest muscle cars ever made. Dodge also hit the nail right on the head with its Ram series. However, the carmaker made a few mistakes. The Dodge Neon, which was also rebadged under the Plymouth and Chrysler brand, was an abject failure. The Neon is absolutely horrendous. With a front end that looks like the face of a tropical bug, the Neon is a sedan that has nothing going for it. Though the SRT4 trim gives a bit more power to this atrociously sluggish car, there is absolutely nothing that can save the Neon. In the end, don't forget to like the video and make sure to join us in our channel and see next video, dude.